Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barbin. With me is Jeff Dover, and let's talk football.
It's the state of affairs of football in the great state of Michigan. Have some few teams to pick from. A very football-heavy state, and looking forward to some of these teams this year.
Yeah, so we're already going to apologize to the MAC and some other conferences where we're really just touching on the big ones. So I know that this could go on for hours with the amount of teams there are to talk about there, but we're just hitting on the big ones here.
We're giving them the Colorado State treatment.
We're giving them the Colorado State treatment if you've watched the Colorado episode. So sorry about that. But anyways, let's go to the Wolverines to start with here.
Sure.
Their over-unders 8.5. Does that seem high?
No, I think that
about
because right? it seems about right because their defense is awesome, and it's and the only thing they were missing last year was the quarterback, which they feel like they've addressed this year. So I think that's right. I think that they're appropriate. That people are excited for them for this season, and I think that makes sense.
Yeah, well, he needs to hit. Now he's the best player apparently in the whole country coming out of high school. And have you seen some of the numbers they speculate they gave him?
No,
like the numbers huge, like pushing 10 million huge. So I don't know if that's spread out over if he stays for 4 years or however it works, but whatever the number is, it's super big. They had to poach him away from LSU. And now I guess he's a Michigan kid, but I mean, when you're that good and you're that highly rated, basically every school wants him, right? So, and I could understand why he'd want to go to LSU, seeing a Heisman winner just come out of there. So, and Michigan's not always known for quarterback play, if not ever really known for. I mean, how far back do you have to go to say they had one of the highlight QBs? It's more known as a running kind of ground and pound
historically.
Historically, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I like about for the win total is the schedule. So they miss Oregon, which helps. They get Ohio State at home, which is going to be obviously a really tough game, but they get Washington at home too. So, and at Maryland, at Northwestern, not going to be difficult. At Michigan State, bit of a rivalry game. At USC, it's going to be tough. Wisconsin at home, at Nebraska, but it's a nice, the way the schedule, it starts off with New Mexico, so nice warm up. Get the new QB if it is going to be the freshman starting, and then it's a real tough one at Oklahoma. They're in that second week. That's a huge game.
Yeah,
but again, it's not a conference game, right? So it wouldn't completely derail their season if they lost that one. And then they get Central Michigan at home, and then at Nebraska, which is a nice way to lean into it. So
that Oklahoma game is going to be a hell of a test for this kid because that defense is legit.
Yeah, and they're breaking in a new QB too, right? So,
but his coordinator came with him.
Yeah, and he's had starting experience before, so that is something.
Yeah,
but still, like it's not bad.
Right. So this is Sharon Moore, I guess, secured this job really by beating Ohio State last year, the head coach. So I think if he lost that game, it might have been a question if he deserves to stick around or not. But, we have continuity with the head coach here. We got a new OC and continuity with the DC.
Really, well, like you said, really surprised at how bad the quarterback play and their offense got last year. Well, it was really like can't complete a pass at some,
it was horrifically bad.
Yeah, horrifically bad. So it's really disappointing to see it get to that point, right? Where it was so bad. Like they missed, Orgy was so not the person for that role.
And that's like a running back trying to play QB.
Exactly. And it was a real miss in the evaluation, right? So this kid Underwood has to be better, but that it was surprising it got to that point.
It can't be worse.
So, no,
it actually can't be worse.
Yeah, it's surprising it got to that point though. So because they're so their defense alone, and as long as their offense is manageable, then they'll be competitive. They'll be good.
Yeah, and they're reloading at defense, like D line's reloading. The offensive line, I think they went 2 years in a row as the more award-winning offensive line, and they're all gone now. So. I think they're basically reloading on both lines. Like this is one of the teams in the country that reloads. They don't rebuild. So the question mark still is the wide receiver room. That hasn't been an impressive room for a while now. But otherwise, I think they'll be fine on the lines. And I think it's just all comes down to Underwood. And my little note here is it feels like team is 1 year away. Like this is the year that Underwood's going to likely start and develop. And next year, coming into the season with a full year experience under his belt and all of these blue chip players on both lines, like developing together, it feels like next year's the year they're going to move maybe to the front of the pack as like an expected deep run in the playoffs. I guess if they make a run to and maybe make the playoffs this year, that seems a year ahead of schedule. Maybe something like that. The other weird thing though is so many of these big teams are starting a first year starting quarterback.
Yeah.
So you could make the argument, why not them?
Yeah, and someone's not going to hit. So
yes.
Out of all those new starters, right? So and this is something that came up in the Cover 3 podcast the other day when they're talking about South Carolina and who was like had an amazing defense last year, and they said they wanted this year's Lenoris Sellers with last year's team. Like that would have been amazing. So I would have loved Underwood with last year's Michigan team. That would have been great.
Assuming Underwood's what we think he can be,
or at least better than what they had, like from the get-go, because Orji just didn't work from the get-go.
It's so bad.
So like that's sort of what I want now. I feel like the QB is sort of mismatched, and just to your point, like where they're not on the same development page in terms of the offense and the defense and the rest of the team and the QB. So the other point about Michigan too is that they missed Penn State as well. So they missed Penn State and Oregon, which would be sort of the two, so the schedule is, in terms of a Big Ten schedule, this is more and more manageable ones that you would get. It's still challenging, but it's still, but yeah, that's the only other reason why that win total's not bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, the other big team in Michigan, we could say, is the Detroit Lions, maybe.
Absolutely.
And over under 10.5. They're favored to win the NFC North. And they're second favorites to go to win the NFC overall. And they're behind the Bills, Ravens, Eagles, Chiefs. So they're fifth odds to win the Super Bowl. So I don't know if there's a whole lot to say here. Hutchinson is healthy, and apparently he looks so good in camp. Campbell's put in a Hutch rule saying when he blows the play up so quickly, they just continue with the play because they still need to get the rep in for the rest of the team.
That's good. That's good to hear, because you never know coming off serious injury like what it's going to be like. But that's the preseason. A lot of people don't pay attention to a lot of stuff, like who's looking good, who isn't, or something. A good example of that is the Shadur Sanders. He had like one decent practice and game, and they were like, "Oh, it's QB1," and it'd been just like 2 weeks ago. He was like maybe he's fourth on the depth chart,
Right. So and now he has a strained oblique.
Right. So I don't know how much you put attention, but something like at practice we've had to change it because he's blown stuff up like that. That's actually a good piece of news, So
because that he was playing at a defensive player of the year caliber when he got hurt. I think he had 7.5 sacks in 6 games.
Yeah.
So he was on pace for like a 20 type of sack season. He seemed to be completely unguardable, and then he got hurt.
Don't we have a sneaky future bet on Hutchinson? Did we end up doing that?
I don't know. You got to check the betting.
Yeah.
The betting. I think I took him for
like the
total.
I
took him. I want him for the over on sacks.
Yeah, we do. We got Aiden Hutchinson over 13.5 sacks.
Yeah, he's gonna get that. You're kidding me? He's gonna get that by game 8. But if he's full speed, and it sounds like he is, and he's got kind of something to prove, because in his mind he lost. Well, he didn't in his mind. He lost a season off his career that could have been like an all-time season. So I'm sure he's chomping at the bit to get back to that speed. And it sounds like, unless Campbell's just making stuff up, it sounds like he's already at full speed.
Yeah. No, and the only other note that I had here about Detroit is this is one of the more boring preseason evaluation things I've ever had to do, because they're a really good team. Everyone's coming back. Should be about the same. Really good. They should be really good.
15 wins is not off the table.
Yeah. No, they should be really good. And if they're anything worse, it'll be a disappointment. And they have to go further in the playoffs than they did last year. So it's the most expectations that I've ever had, or I think anyone's ever had, for the Lions.
100%.
right?
Like the
Because it's
fact that
always
they're
perennial. It's always been like they can't do it. They can't do it. It was like that for years and decades.
they're
And
fully
so,
expected to be in the NFC Championship game.
yeah, and
That's
if
like
they're and
anything
win
less
it,
than
like
anything less
yes,
than that is a failure.
because last year going 15-2 and not making it past Washington was bad.
Yeah.
So
Now they were decimated on defense. I just can't believe they made 15 games missing all the people they were missing on defense. It was unbelievable how many people kept getting hurt, and then next man up. It just kept working and kept working, but eventually just caught up with them. And they ran into, Jaden Daniels was a revelation last year. So it was, it took the Eagles to beat them. So it's, you just can't account for that, like a star like that. But yeah, that was a real disappointing end of the season. I don't want to make an excuse, but most teams aren't going to survive that many injuries on defense. Like that was just unbelievable.
No, and in that division, we did the other day. We did the state of Colorado, and in that division of the Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, like that's a really good division. This one is really good too. Like I think Chicago will be better than they were last year. Green Bay is going to be really good. Minnesota is new QB, so that's the most unknown there. But the rest of the team is really good.
Stellar roster, yeah,
it's amazing roster. So like that, they're in a really tough division too. So and the thing that I think helps too is that they get a couple of division games early in the schedule. So they play the Packers first game, and then the Bears second game. And so that they could really make a statement early with a couple of big division wins there. So
couple rookies to watch here. Tyleik Williams, defensive tackle from Ohio State. Tate Ratledge, guard from Georgia. Santiago was telling us about him. And Isaac Tesla, the wide receiver. I guess Tesla, I think is how you say it. Wide receiver from Arkansas. He's been turning heads in camp. I don't think anyone super expected that, but as if this team needs more firepower on offense. If he hits, like think of some teams who really need a wide receiver, and this team gets another one. If this guy hits, like it's just unbelievable. So to me, it's just health. If this team stays healthy, Super Bowl's 100% an expectation. At least getting NFC Championship game at minimum, but all the way to the Super Bowl should be an expectation if they stay healthy.
Yeah, and that's the most boring preseason evaluation of the team. They should be really good. They should be back there. And the biggest question for this team is how do they deal with those expectations? Because they have never had them like this in Detroit for the Lions, and because Campbell is a great bring your lunch pail to work kind of guy, and building a team up and developing like a culture and that stuff. So this being like a front runner, I don't know how that's going to go. So
the disappointing end to last year might be something he can use as motivation.
Yeah, I'm sure they will, but I hope it works. But like that's we don't know. I don't know. They've never been in this. Like as soon as something goes wrong this year, I don't know how
start feeling like they're cursed.
Yeah, like how off the rails this thing could get. So I hope it's not like that. I hope they're really good. I hope they,
Yeah.
So, but it's anyway.
There's no obvious other team in the NFC. Set aside the Eagles. The Eagles are the team in the NFC. There's no obvious other team that should be there besides this team.
Yeah, I mean, I think Green Bay is going to be really talented. Like there'll be high expectations.
But I don't put them ahead of the Lions.
No,
they're good. They're good. But if you had to pick who's 1 and 2 in the NFC, it's got to be Eagles Lions.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yep.
And now that we have no idea what's going on with Stafford's back, the Rams are big question marks there.
Yeah.
And okay, so Jeff's obviously wearing the Spartans shirt, and that's the other major Michigan team we're going to talk about. They've got continuity at head coach and QB. Aiden Childs is a 5-star QB, and has got that kind of talent. But man, is he ever reckless with the ball. Like he'll make the wow play. He'll make the wow play. He'll scramble away from everybody. He's massive. He's huge. He's got a rocket for an arm. He kind of looks like Lenore Sellers if you just sort of watch them both move around. But Childs enjoys throwing the ball to the other team. And he's got to put an end to that if this team's going to go anywhere. They have a star wide receiver, and they have a star tight end, which is when you stop and think about it, like those are some pretty good pieces, but when he's throwing it to the other team, that kind of doesn't matter.
No, but I mean that's the kind of thing that I feel like is fixable, right?
Yeah.
Like if someone doesn't have the arm strength or if someone doesn't have the mobility, there's not much you can do about it. You can't
No.
coach that.
No.
So he's got all the tools. We just have to cut down on the turnovers, which is like the decision making, which is something you should get better at. And I really like the way their schedule starts out too. So they've got Western Michigan at the beginning, the Boston College and Youngstown State. That is a nice get everyone settled in, get everyone to warm up and stuff. Tough game at USC. I mean, I think USC will be favored, but I don't know by how much. That would be less than a touchdown maybe. At Nebraska, tough game, but same thing. I don't know how much more Nebraska can be favored them. UCLA at home, I think that's winnable.
I'm just not used to seeing this team with a bad defense. It's just not something you expect from the Spartans.
But all those I feel like are coin flip games. At Indiana is going to be tough. Then they get Michigan at home. They'll probably lose that one. But again, I'd rather have the rivalry game at home.
Yeah.
At Minnesota is going to be tough. They get Penn State at home, but they also miss they don't get Ohio State and they don't get Oregon. So it's not bad. So
there's work to do here.
Yeah,
I think Jonathan Smith's a good coach and it's a good hire. And they were talking about year 3 when he was starting to really turn around Oregon State. So we'll see if year 3 here looks any better. I mean, Childs has Heisman caliber tools.
Yeah.
If he can put it all together. People who don't follow Michigan State probably don't realize there's a QB that's got this kind of talent at this school.
Yeah,
it's because they haven't been winning a lot of games and they can be getting killed, so it's sort of off the radar. But if this year or next, if he stays another year, he's all of a sudden one of the best players in the country. It won't be surprising to Michigan State fans who know that he's got the talent. It's just can he put it all together?
Listed at 6'3", 225. So you're not wrong about the Lenora Sellers comparison, right?
Yeah.
He's a dude.
When you see him move, I mean, this guy, Jesus Christ, he can do one of those make something out of nothing play that just a few QBs in the country can actually do. Kind of like Sellers. I mean, I keep comparing it because most people have, after last year,
he can
Sellers.
run and throw. So.
Yeah, and he's got some kind of instinct. He can run away from people. He can buy time in the pocket. He can do all of that stuff. It's just at the end, the ball has to land in the hands of someone wearing a Spartans jersey instead. But yeah, wild talent. It's just whether or not they can harness it and control it and get it in the right direction.
Yeah, and they are replacing a lot of people. So it's but so's every other team. So
yeah. So this team to me just should be bet 5 and over under 5.5 just is not right for Michigan State. This team has the resources. It should be better. So hopefully they're headed in the right direction here.
Yeah. So Western Michigan, Boston College, Youngstown State, I'm going to give them those wins. That's 3. So we just need three more on the schedule from, let's say, at Nebraska, at UCLA at home, at Indiana, at Minnesota, at Iowa, Maryland. So, I mean, I think it's doable, but a bowl game is the goal for this team.
Minimum. They better make a bowl game this year. All right. Well, that's what we got for the state of Michigan. I don't know. You got anything else or
nope.
Just leave it at that. So high expectations for the Lions, question mark-ish for the Wolverines.
Moderate expectations for the Wolverines, and then maybe below expectations for the Spartans.
Well, bowl game for the Spartans. So anyway, so that's the state of affairs for Michigan. And for Jeff Dover, I'm John Barber, and that's your Saturday versus Sunday podcast.